Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your July 2021 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Scorpio be affected by the July 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. As the cards hit that. How will Scorpio be affected by the July 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. How will Scorpio be affected by the July 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. How will Scorpio be affected by the July 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Now at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, the heart, the emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. At our root, we have the Lovers, which is Gemini energy, and the Hangman. We're actually going to start seeing love in a different way, and that makes perfect sense with the energy that this moon has to offer. The full moon is on the 23rd of July. It's in Aquarius, and it's going to really have us looking at things very differently than we have looked at them before, but also looking at ourselves. It leads us then to the Tower and to the Star. So it's the Star bringing us to the Tower, both major arcana cards. When it comes to our inner self, we're only dealing with major arcana cards here at our root in this Phantom Wise tarot deck. And here with the Star, it represents Aquarius. And Aquarius is the full moon in July, but it's also the full moon in August. And I know people are going to debate about this, but on the 23rd of July, the moon is in Capricorn up until 8:12 p.m. And this is Eastern Standard Time. And then it moves into Aquarius. The full moon comes into the apex of its power at 10:37 p.m. So the full moon is in Aquarius, and it is going to be astoundingly powerful. This power is going to move over, and with the alignments of the planets and everything that, has to be offered through that, it is going to be a different moon on the 22nd of August, but it's still going to be in Aquarius, having that underlining energy of showing the world the real you, showing the world who we truly are and what we truly want. And that's going to be something that really shakes us up, that has us moving towards love, but also has us a bit apprehensive. Can I have this love be in my life? And can I move forward this way? We have the King of Wands, which is fire sign energy. The new moon on the 8th of August is in Leo, so that fire sign energy is going to be important for us. And then we have the Sleepers, which is Judgment in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And so here we have ourselves awakening in passion, in power, in transformation. And it can be a little bit unnerving, not to lie at all. We then have the Queen of Wands. We're on the verge of a soulmate connection, a true love connection. And this connection, I mean, I was just like taking in the energy and releasing it is going to be so important, because it's not going to be a soulmate connection as powerfully as we would want it to be, because this isn't within the same deck. But because we have the King and the Queen of Wands coming forward, fire sign energy is going to be very important for us embracing our passion and what we desire, and understanding how it morphs differently from our emotional self and our public self is going to be very important. And this moon has us really focusing on opposites during this time. And it's going to be, work and home, love and responsibilities. Everything starts to come into play, and we can almost feel as if there are two sides of us coming forward. And that can also be what the Lovers is stating right here. We then have the Knight of Swords, and this is air sign energy, amplifying the Aquarius energy that we have in the full moon. And there is this sense of charging forward, going after what I want, what I desire, seeing things openly, honestly, and tenaciously. And with the Three of Swords, we're conquering heartbreak, pain, and disappointment, things that have held us back for too long, that have kept us silent. And now we're going to see ourselves really stepping forward in a very real and powerful way. But this is a way where we can find that we're going to be more comfortable with the home, with the family, with our intimate relationships, which is what the full moon brings forward. The full moon on the 23rd of July has us focusing on home and family and relationships. And it's going to be in that period, but also the 2 weeks following the full moon is going to be all about what is sacred within our inner domain. And this is also a time, again, where the opposites come into play, and we're going to be looking at wants and needs and, everything about ourselves that is contradictory, everything about the world that is contradictory, and maybe even feeling a bit aggravated or annoyed because of it. Emotions and instincts reach their peak during this full moon. And so as we surrender to the divine to embrace our full power, we have to trust our intuition, and we have to trust the emotional awakening and the intuition that guides us forward. Because if we do this, we're going to be able to see clearly the dynamics within our relationships. But we're also going to be able to see the disharmony, the negativity within our relationships. And this can be something that can be very upsetting, because we're going to want everything to be just slightly perfect. And that's, no pressure at all. Just be perfect all the time. But this moon is intense because with the full moon in Aquarius, the moon is quincus Jupiter. And this increases our need for love and affection. And we see that in this reading quite profoundly during this time. Love is going to be important to us. The people that we connect with are going to be important to us, more so than for other signs. There's going to be a depth of loyalty, of connection, of, this is my responsibility, this is what I have to do, this is how I'm moving myself forward. But this also increases the tension between us and our loved ones, because within our relationships, we're hypersensitive to the imbalance within our emotional support and our loved ones. So here it's like, okay, how do I balance everything? And also understanding that because the moon is quincus Jupiter is quincus Venus. During this time, the moon being quincus Venus is going to be a time where everybody's feeling a bit sensitive. Everybody's feeling as if there's something missing from everybody else and they're not getting it. And the fact of the matter is, we can also feel this way about ourselves. We can be really harsh on ourselves and not feeling that self-love and not feeling like we even understand ourselves, or we're really connected with who we are and who we want to be. This can be made a little bit worse, right? Not to get us down, but it's by the sign of quincus Jupiter, because this creates tension around our success and around the way that we see ourselves as successful. So because we're feeling a bit vulnerable in our relationships, and it's going to be very hard for us to take away the mask, take away the guards, and say, this is what I need from love. This is what I need from myself. I need to be handled with a bit more care, a bit more compassion, a bit more love from me and from those around me. And I need to state this. I need to let people know. And also I need to understand that there's a heightened sensitivity during this time that I need to be respectful of. And so if we do this, then the Sun Quincus Jupiter isn't going to kind of kick us in the teeth as hard as it will if we're going to be fighting this emotional vulnerability that the Moon Quincus Venus is going to bring us. Now, with the Sun Quincus Jupiter, we're going to want to, again, see ourselves as our successes. And it's going to create tension, which is going to make ourselves feel very lucky. It's going to make us it's going to make us appear. And it's going to make us appear to just kind of have all the answers because we're working so hard. We're pushing so hard. We're going after it so intensely. And this is a time where we can put our whole identity into our work or into what we value about ourselves. And we can lose who we truly are because we're not simply, achievements to be checked off. We're people. And we're complex and we're intricate. And we have to respect that about us, or else we're going to lose something very powerful during this time. Now, the problem with putting ourselves within our work so tremendously and saying, if my work is successful, I'm successful. If my work isn't successful, then I'm not successful. It brings a level of greed and guilt and addiction that can be very, very harmful to us. So we have to be mindful of this during this time. Now, Venus is opposite Jupiter, which is going to be really great for socializing and loving and relaxing, but it's also going to bring us a bit of lazy energy and carelessness, which is going to be at odds with the Sun Quincus Jupiter. So we have to be mindful of this during this time. To be able to show the world who we truly are, we're going to have to fight the pull of Venus and Jupiter. And we're going to have to say, I'm not my extremes. I am simply a beautiful, powerful being. And I am embracing that beauty, that harmony, that brilliance. I am walking gently on this earth, and I am embracing the energy of being. And that's going to be so important to us and for us during this time. Now, the new moon is in Leo, and the new moon always brings us to a place of a new start is coming and to a place of beginnings. Where we're seeing ourselves walk from one portal to another. And now with the new moon in Leo, it says confidence is your key to success. And that is going to be really true. But what we have to be mindful of, and especially since we have powerful fire sign energy really pulling us during this time, is that we have to be mindful of not letting ego and pride get the better of us. So it's going to be that balance of saying, this is who I am, this is what I want, this is my confidence within myself, and coming across as egotistical or prideful. So we do have to be very mindful. This is going to kind of be an energy. It's kind of like being a teenager. And when you're a teenager, you try to act like an adult and you just come across rude and so that's going to be the energy that we want to embrace during this time. It's like, I'm just going to overcompensate. And that's going to be something we need to be mindful of. Now, the moon is also squared Uranus during this time. And so unexpected changes and sudden unexpected changes are going to be just par for the course. And it's going to bring us a sense of excitement, but it's also going to bring us a sense of instability, chaos, but it's also going to bring revelations that maybe we didn't want to see or didn't want to face so powerfully right now. There will be this feeling of again, wanting to embrace the change, but being very nervous, very anxious about what this is going to bring us. And because we have the Tower, we know this change is going to be really real, and it's going to be more intense than maybe we want it to be. So we have to be aware of this, own it, state it, and instead of being fearful of it, say, I'm embracing this with flexibility, creativity, and intention in this awareness of myself and of my soul. Because if we don't, it's going to bring us to a place of abruptness and impulsiveness. And if there's one thing that we want to avoid during this time, it is being impulsive during the new moon on the 8th of August. We don't want to be impulsive. We don't want to just jump in for it and say, whatever happens, happens. We want to be planners, but again, not sticking so strictly to a routine or to a certain way of doing something that we ignore the beautiful messages from the universe of change, and that we ignore the opportunities that start to open themselves up to us. This is a time where we really have to fight to keep an open mind. And as we keep an open mind, we see ourselves being empowered as we move forward. So let's see what energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And this is strength. And that makes perfect sense, since we do have such a strong pull to the Leo energy of this new moon. And the strength card represents Leo energy. So this is a time where we have to be mindful of strength. We have to be mindful of people who appear strong but are really bullies. And even during this time, Scorpio, we have to be mindful of maybe even kind of being a bit of a bully ourselves. So it's not saying that we will be, it's just saying we're going to have that proclivity during this time, and we just have to be aware of it. It can be that we're tired, we're overstressed, we're really expecting too much from ourselves, but we're also going to be really drawn to people who exude this sense of success, but also the sense of entitlement. And it's going to be like that teenager, like that energy of, I don't really have this perfect understanding of myself or this secure understanding of myself. I'm going to fake it. And by faking it, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive in my understanding than I need to be. So that's going to be something that we need to be mindful of in others, but also within ourselves. Now let's look at the chakra energy that we need to be aware of. What chakra energy? Here we go. Spiritual awakening. And this was all shuffled and meditated on beforehand. So when one just pops out like this, the crown chakra, we definitely have to take it and embrace it. So here, with the spiritual awakening, we're embracing a deeper power, a deeper sense of ourselves. This is a time where so much can open to us. But this is a time where we're being called to face a lot more than maybe we bargained for. And that can be intense and that can be challenging. This leads us to the Lovers. And nothing is more challenging than falling in love and staying in love and embracing this duality of being and experience and desire. So here with the Lovers, we are looking at something beautiful. We're looking at something that is longed for, but we're also looking at something that makes us astoundingly vulnerable, that lets somebody in a way that we don't let everybody in, that becomes very complex. And so during this time, we're embracing love, we're embracing passion, we're embracing insights and ideas. So the Lovers opens to us very beautifully, but also very powerfully during this time. We're going to see things and have to ask ourselves, like, do I love this? Like, does this sing to my heart or doesn't it? How does this work energy-wise with me, with the revelations that I am embracing, with the knowledge that I'm gaining throughout my life, with the place that I am right now? How do I embrace love in a way that honors and cherishes who I am? And that's going to be really important, because as we kind of set this as our mantra for this time, the sense of I am embracing love, beauty, prosperity, honor, grace of self and being, it brings us to the Hangman. We start to see we're not like everybody else. And the instinctual thing to do when the Hangman comes in is to say, I'm wrong, they're right, I'll change. And this is going to be one of the key components during this time, is to say, I'm not going to change. This is who I am. I see things differently than the rest of the world, and that's okay. I move forward powerfully. I move forward openly and honestly, and I embrace who I am and where I want to be. The Hangman is going to say one of our greatest gifts is the fact that we're not like everybody else. And instead of seeing it as a curse, instead of seeing it as a disgrace, what we have to start seeing it as something beautifully complex that simply makes us powerful, profound, and exquisite. This is a time to embrace the erotic beauty of existence, not simply in the sense of sexual energy, but in the sense of opening our eyes to the profound beauty and just sensory wonder that the world can bring us if we let ourselves become a part of it. It moves us to the star. Aquarius is going to be an integral part of us during this time. So this moon is going to be astoundingly powerful, period, end of discussion. Scorpio, we can want to hide from it. We can, sit there and want to kind of figure it all out and see what angle this moon is going to have on us and really be prepared for it. We're not going to be able to prepare. This is a time where we need to express, be, become, and embrace. The star is going to show us that there is balance coming spiritually and practically, that there is this sense of what we have longed for starting to come forward. And again, there's this vulnerability, Scorpio, that makes us think, can I move forward the way that I want to? Do I understand things correctly or openly and honestly for myself? And this doubt comes in, but we also have to understand that the questioning is leading us closer and closer and closer to what we really want. What we fear at times when we question things can be that we fear becoming what we most do not want to be. We can fear taking away from somebody else that which we ourselves hold sacred. But what we have to understand, especially during this moon, is that not everybody is going to hold sacred what we ourselves hold sacred. Not everybody is going to see things in the same way. And divinity during this time is going to be looking within our souls and saying, this is what you long for. This is what you desire. I'm going to be giving you bits of it. Maybe not it all at once, though for some it might. It might come crashing on us like a wave that knocks us down and just sweeps us out to sea and is overwhelming and terrifying, but intoxicating and beautiful. And all of a sudden you can find out that you're a mermaid or a silky and be able to embrace the waves like never before. This is going to be a time where we need to understand. We need to understand what we long for. We need to understand the beautiful gifts that come in kind of drips and drabs that lead us forward, that have us reasoning, understanding, and embracing ourselves more openly and honestly. And this starts to really rock our world. It really, really does. The tower is change that we cannot stop. Now, because of the new moon in Leo, we have this change coming in, and the new moon being squared Uranus. It's all about change. And as we show the world the real us, it's all about change. It's all about confidence. It's all about gaining an understanding of where we want to be in the long run of our existence and really pushing forward. The tower shakes us powerfully and throws us out of our comfort zone. This is going to be a time where we're out of our comfort zone, and that's because the moon and the sun are quincus Venus and Jupiter. This is going to be a time where we start to see things, and we can start to see where we can become overly indulgent in one area of life. It's kind of like when having a piece of chocolate. A piece or two of chocolate is really, really good. Eating the whole entire box can make our stomach hurt. So we have to be mindful of this during this time, that we're going to want to say, this makes me feel better, or this makes you feel safe, or this, is exactly what I want. And we're going to want to just dive into it completely and submerge ourselves in emotional complications, but also understandings. And diving deeper and deeper and deeper. But again, just like eating too much chocolate, it's going to give us a stomach ache. And then we're going to do the same thing with work. It's going to be like, okay, if I can just push myself further, if I can just do this more, everything will be okay. And this is a time where we need that balance. We need that harmony. We need to understand that we're not just how the world defines success. So when we say to somebody, oh, what do you do? We expect them to say, oh, I'm a, XYZ, a career, or, a whatever. We don't expect them to say, I'm a good person. I'm a loving partner. I'm a, something that has more emotional depth than I'm an accountant, than I'm a, secretary. We have to be broader in the way that we define ourselves during this time. And broader means we have to be emotionally aware. And that's going to be something that shakes us up. Now, with the King of Wands, the King of Wands in our heart is telling us, look at our passion, look at what we desire. There's something that's transforming, but there's also going to be a need emotionally to roll up our sleeves, get our hands dirty, and just go for it. Just go and see what can happen, what, transpires, what becomes, and why we are becoming. It leads us to judgment. It leads us to a rising out of slumber, to be able to defend what it is that we most love, but also to be able to hear the call of where we need to be for ourselves, what we desire, what we want, and what we need. The King of Wands is passion and fire and determination. Our hearts are going to be filled with passion and fire and determination. Will it engulf us? Will it overpower us? Or will we be able to almost tame a dragon of fire, to be able to awaken that which has been slumbering within us for too long? This becomes a time where we can really start to embrace creativity, to embrace a different way of looking at things, to embrace the change that we want within our lives, and to make things a little bit exciting, to make things a little bit more than what had been brought to the table before. It leads us to the Queen of Wands. Again, that fire, that tenacity. But here, with a more mature woman, we're going to see that just like with the more mature man, there could be this level of underestimating. It could be this level of, oh, well, I've sat on this for too long. Or, it's not going to be as fiercely encompassing as a knight charging forward. Yes, this is going to have so much more power to it. The kings are the actors upon the stage for me. The queens, the directors behind the scenes. This is going to be the time where the heart leads. And in the public arena, we have to direct the way the heart leads, because the heart can be a little bit too intense, can be a little bit overpowering, just engulf us in the passion, in the flames, in the determination. It leads us here to guiding that heart's energy, but also guiding the energy of change that is such an integral part of us during this time, and saying, what do I desire? This makes me think of the goddess Hestia, but also the goddess Hecate, and the three faces of life, the maiden, the mother, the crone, but also the fact that even when people do not think you hold the most power, like with Hestia, you can be worshipped in every single home. There's power to you that others have not seen. So there's going to be this level of being underestimated, of being shadowed, of your works being forgotten, type of thing, or feeling like something has been forgotten, and then all of a sudden it rises like the phoenix in your heart, and there's this new focus, there's this new determination, there's this new life and passion breathed in, and it moves you here to the Knight of Swords. It's like, I'm charging forward, I'm going after what I want. This has re-energized me, recharged me, and now nothing's going to stop me. And that's what this moon is going to do, really quite profoundly. And the full moon in August, it's going to be the sense of, that's it, I'm going for it, I need to. And as we need to, we're going to be facing a lot of the fears and the doubts that have held us back before, that says, no, you can't. And this is a time to say, oh yes, I absolutely can. We take our heartbreaks and our pains and our disappointments, the angers that have defined us for too long, and now we're going to turn them into our greatest weapons, into, this power that redefines us instead of destroys us, instead of trying to knock us down. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels. Ooh. Okay, fantastic. So we have at our roots, we have the full moon in Gemini. So Gemini energy is going to be very important. This duality, this fact that not everybody has to think like us. Not everybody has to see things the same way. The energy of the lovers is also understanding that there are going to be a multitude of ways to see things or understand things. And so here it says with the full moon in Gemini, the answers you need are coming. Have faith. It's beautiful. Then we have with the full moon in Leo coming through. So again, amplifying this Leo energy for us. Don't let pride get in the way, which is what we've been warned about with the new moon. But just in general, don't let pride get in the way as we're finding this balance, as we're embracing this change. And it's being discerning. It's being discerning about the energy that we're letting in. This leads us then to your hard work is paying off. Resilience. It's like, this is what we've been waiting for. This is what we want. The resilience of schlepping, of having to work so hard and putting so much time and effort in and thinking maybe it would never be seen. Maybe nobody will ever understand, or I'll never get to where I want to be. It's like, no, the hard work pays off. Period. End of discussion. Meditate and contemplate. It focuses your will. So again, the answers you need are coming. Have faith. Have faith that something beautiful comes forward, that you're aligning, that things are aligning the way they need to, and that the rough patches are for a reason, and the beautiful understanding guides us forward. Don't let pride get in the way. That's going to be really, really key during this time. Be discerning. Be discerning of the energy you let in. Be discerning of who you let influence you, of what you're taking in and what you're releasing. Okay? That's going to be really important, Scorpio. Your hard work pays off. Resilience. It's been a long, hard battle, but the hard work, it really does pay off. Meditate and contemplate. Again, it focuses your will. It hones you in a way that you might not think you need to be honed, but you do. You definitely do. It leads us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that is Cernunnos. Now, Cernunnos is the devil in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but Cernunnos is always the opposite of the Lovers. So it's like, be very mindful of overindulging. Be very mindful of consequences and the fact that every action has a positive or negative reaction. And this is going to be a time where it isn't going to be like the devil, like anything has it out for us. Cernunnos is quite different. Cernunnos is a god of chaos. And it's simply that chaos happens. And chaos can work out brilliantly, but it can also work out not brilliantly. So just be mindful of that. It leads us to our subconscious chakra message, which is rebirth. And this is the Earth Star chakra located 6 inches below our feet. We are going to see ourselves reborn powerfully, intensely, and unimaginably. There's going to be a sense that we're flying out of darkness and that the world is leading us in a way that we hadn't thought. Now, the subconscious Luna message begins with the energy is gaining momentum. Acceptance. Accept that the energy is gaining momentum, that things might be out of our hands, out of, the way that we can really line things up. Accept it, move forward within it, and embrace its brilliance. That's going to be really important for us during this time. Our subconscious rooted message is the Emperor, Aries energy. Again, fire sign energy coming forward. This is telling us really quite profoundly, claim your throne. Claim what you desire, Scorpio. Embrace what it is that you want and where it is that you need to be. There's going to be a sense of nobody gets to lead me. I get to lead my way. I get to forge my path. I get to be the adventurer of my existence. And that's going to be so important to who we are, to who we want to be, and to how we move forward during this time. It moves us then to our subconscious inner self, which is the Ten of Swords. We're rising out of darkness. This is the darkness before the dawn. This is the sense of, can I do this? Can I move forward this way? Am I going to just ignore everything? Or am I going to look at it straight on and say, these are the lessons that I learned over 10 years. I mean, for some of us, it's going to be over a decade of life. For others, it could be 10 weeks. They could be really intense. These are the lessons that I've learned. But it's going to be over a longer period of time. For most of us, it's 10 years, 10 months. A sense of, this is what has forged me, what has cultivated me, what has defined me in a very real and profound way. And now I'm rising out of the darkness. I'm rising into my power. I'm rising to the place that I need to be, body, mind, and spirit. But I mourn. I mourn the innocence that I have lost. I mourn the dreams that may never come true, or or just the simple innocence that life is easier than it actually is, or people are kinder than they actually are. At least some people. Our subconscious emotional self is the Four of Pentacles. As much as we have this energy coursing through us to be open, to say the hard work is paying off, to embrace our passion and our desire, and to rise in a way that we didn't think we could. This is the energy that's going to be holding us back. The Four of Pentacles is blocking our chakra energy, is blocking our connection to the earth, is sitting there and saying, no, it's the vampiric energy that steals away our joy, our sense of self, and we have to be very mindful of this and falling into this trap. It moves us to our subconscious public arena, which is very much going to mirror our inner self. And then we have the Sun. Joy, happiness, success, prosperity. There's this sense that, beauty and power comes forward. If we can look at the darkness and not let it engulf us. If we can see the path that we want to walk and give it with honor and respect and say, this is who I am, all of a sudden, life becomes so different. We become so different. The sun is the happiest card in the deck. Subconsciously, in the public arena, we're shooting for the stars. We're going after the biggest and greatest thing. And that is commendable, and it can also be frightening. So we have to be mindful of that. Also, because we have that luckiness that is around us because of the sun, Quincus, Jupiter, we have to be mindful that people are going to see us and see the sun shining within us, especially when it comes to work. And they're going to want to take us by eyes. They're going to want to say, who do you think you are to be luckier than me? And the fact of the matter is, you're not luckier than anybody. You are simply honing your skills, honing your passion, honing what you desire, and letting yourself rise, whereas other people are weighing themselves down with stones. So we have to be mindful of that. All right, Scorpio, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power of this moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Scorpio, and may you have a blessed moon.